Good evening, I'm Tips Mahoy, and this is ArthIntel Evening Edition. Coming up, Meta told to pay another $567 in New Mexico child safety lawsuit. Iran aims to ban U.S. and Israeli ships from Strait of Hormuz and charge others a toll. Spokane arson suspect tells prosecutors he started 25 other fires. That, plus a check of the weather across the country. A New Mexico judge has ordered Meta to pay another $567 million over its failure to warn the public about dangers its platforms pose to children, bringing the company's total penalty in the case to $942 million. Judge Brian Beachade compared Meta to a factory, calling the psychological harm and sexual exploitation of children on its platforms pollution, and declaring the company a public nuisance. The judge ordered most of the new funds, $420 million, to go toward treatment programs for affected children, along with new safety measures like usage limits and restrictions on adults messaging minors. Meta says it disagrees with the ruling and plans to appeal, adding it remains confident in our record of protecting teens online. Iran's parliament is reviewing a plan, according to Iranian state media, to ban ships linked to the U.S., Israel, and other hostile countries from the Strait of Hormuz until Tehran is compensated for war damage. The plan would also charge other commercial vessels fees of up to 7% of cargo value, with a 20% fine for violating Iran's conditions. Iran says it's finalizing a separate shipping route agreement with Oman, though Oman hasn't commented, and the Trump administration disputes Iran's characterization, insisting any temporary routes would come with no tolls or approvals. This comes more than 5 months into the U.S.-Israel war with Iran, which shut down the strait and prompted a U.S. naval blockade that remains in effect. A 37-year-old Spokane man accused of sparking Saturday's catastrophic Old Trails fire has told investigators he started 25 other fires near Riverside State Park since last July, according to a prosecutor's memorandum filed in Spokane County Superior Court. Detectives say they've corroborated evidence linking him to at least 4 of those blazes, including a July fire that burned more than 1,200 acres. Prosecutors are now seeking 4 additional first-degree arson charges, and a judge has raised his bail to $2 million. According to court documents, the man told a detective he spent 2 weeks planning Saturday's fire, choosing a hot, windy day, and said he feels fire is powerful and beautiful. The 3 Spokane area fires have together burned more than 15 square miles, damaged or destroyed over 900 structures, and forced more than 60,000 people to evacuate. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell says he has been discharged from a rehabilitation center to continue his recovery at home. In a statement reported by CNN, McConnell thanked doctors, nurses, and Kentuckians for their support, and said he'll continue an intensive physical therapy regimen while staying engaged with Senate business. McConnell was hospitalized June 14 after a fall that left him briefly unconscious. He says doctors confirmed he suffered no broken bones, concussion, heart attack, stroke, tumors, or hemorrhages, though he also dealt with a mild case of pneumonia. McConnell's health has drawn scrutiny for years, including public freezing episodes in 2023 and recent appearances in a wheelchair. President Trump is hosting Team USA's Winter Olympic and Paralympic athletes at the White House today, honoring their performance at the 2026 Milano Cortina Games. American athletes brought home 33 Olympic medals, 12 gold, 12 silver, and 9 bronze, while U.S. Paralympians earned 24 medals of their own, including 13 gold. Among the standout moments this year, the U.S. men's, women's, and Paralympic hockey teams all defeated Canada to win gold. President Trump signed 2 executive orders in the Oval Office Thursday, placing new restrictions on birthright citizenship and banning birth tourism. The move comes after the Supreme Court struck down his January 2025 order ending birthright citizenship for children of temporary visitors and those in the country illegally. Trump vowed very big crackdowns, claiming, without providing evidence, that hundreds of thousands of people are abusing the system, and citing individual cases of men he said claimed 56 and 98 children. White House officials, including Stephen Miller and Staff Secretary Will Scharf, said the orders rely on a rarely used immigration law provision to deny visas to those they believe are traveling to the U.S. specifically to give birth for citizenship purposes. The Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee voted 8-7 along party lines Thursday to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. The move follows a hearing where Fauci invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times while facing questions from Republican senators about the U.S. pandemic response. Committee Chair Rand Paul says he'll hand-deliver the resolution directly to the Department of Justice, though experts tell Time that move carries no legal weight on its own. The measure still needs a full Senate vote, and with a 60-vote threshold required, experts say it's unlikely to pass. If Fauci were ultimately convicted of contempt, he could face up to a $100,000 fine and a year in prison. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. President Trump has signed an executive order imposing a 15% tariff on imported polysilicon, a key material used in semiconductors and solar panels, along with new minimum import prices. The move follows a national security investigation and aims to shield U.S. manufacturers as America's share of global polysilicon output has plunged from 50% in 2005 to less than 2% in 2024, according to Trump. China, which holds a near monopoly on polysilicon production, responded through its Washington embassy, saying the tariff seriously disrupts bilateral trade and accusing the U.S. of abusing state power to go after Chinese businesses. The measures take effect in December, and analysts cited by Chinese state media call it the latest escalation in Washington's efforts to limit Beijing's role in critical tech supply chains. SpaceX's shares were unlocked Thursday, opening the door to a potential windfall for some early employees who received thousands of stock options as part of their pay. The BBC reports that at least one former employee is already putting the payout to use, renovating a brewery in Italy. The unlocking allows these long-held options to be converted, giving staff who joined the company early a chance to cash in on its growth. Shares of SanDisk and Western Digital both fell 10% in pre-market trading Thursday, even after both companies beat quarterly expectations. SanDisk reported record fourth-quarter revenue of $8.97 billion and non-GAAP EPS of $39.25, while Western Digital posted revenue of $3.75 billion, up 44% year-over-year, with gross margin surging to 54.4%. The sell-off came down to guidance. SanDisk's first-quarter revenue outlook of $10.7 billion missed the $11.2 billion analysts had estimated, and its EPS guidance also fell short, while Western Digital's solid outlook wasn't enough after its stock had already run up 500%. SanDisk's board also approved an additional $14 billion share buyback, bringing its total authorization to $15.5 billion, and both stocks remain roughly 50% below their all-time highs despite gains of more than 3,000% and 550% respectively over the past year. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. The New York Liberty have officially waived Betnijah Laney-Hamilton 4 days after the league's trade deadline. The 33-year-old was a starter for New York since 2021 and helped the team win the 2024 WNBA championship, but she'd been a healthy scratch since a July 12 game in which she was ejected for throwing a shoe. Liberty General Manager Jonathan Kolb says the move will let her pursue a larger basketball role elsewhere. Her $400,000 contract is guaranteed, and if she clears waivers, teams like the Fever, Wings, and Mystics have been floated as potential landing spots for the veteran defender. A wild moment in Atlanta as Braves star Ronald Acuna Jr. got some help turning a fly ball into a two-run home run. Marlins center fielder Esteury Ruiz and left fielder Heriberto Hernandez collided chasing the ball, which then bounced over the wall. It's Acuna's third homer in 10 games since returning from a hamstring strain. The win extended the Braves' streak to 7 straight, giving them an 8.5-game lead in the NL East over the Phillies. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. And finally, here's a look at temperatures across the country right now. It's hottest in Phoenix at 102 degrees, while Chicago is the coolest spot on the board this evening at 72. That's ArthIntel Evening Edition for now, 12 stories coast to coast. I'm Tips Mahoy for ArthIntel, signal over noise. Visit arthintel.com for the full story. Remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications.